Oh, those sunsets. So many of them, so beautiful. It was a shame there wasn't any girls to appreciate it. But you can appreciate it now. Here are some. Well, pretty soon the time had come for us to leave. And we packed up all our stuff, brought it down. Tano's boat took it all back to the mainland. All the treasures of Mona, the seashells, and all the memories were all packed and ready to go home. Wait a minute. This can't be the end. We were out here for 5 months. There must be a treasure here. Paul and I went back on the railroad, and Lee disappeared for 30 years. When I retired in 1998, I found him out in Colorado. He had traveled all over the world, doing what he loved, flying cargo from one island to another. And in 1983, he got out of the plane and said he was never going back, and that's what he's done. He bought himself 15 acres out here in Colorado, and he got a hold of a couple of railroad boxcars and put them out there. Then he got himself a Volkswagen camper, and in fact, he got two of them. He welded them together, and that's his bedroom. He's been sleeping in that for 25 years, and he loves it. In one of the boxcars, he built a beautiful bedroom, a beautiful bed, and then a separate shower quarters and desk and what have you in it. But he doesn't use it. He says that's for guests. This is Lee's fun. He's got the rest of the boxcars filled with machinery and tools and parts. And he bought a house for the winter in Arizona. And he bought a 4-bedroom and 4-car garage, and he's filling that one up. This is Lee's treasure. He loves to make things. He built himself an electric car, and he's got a wind generator he's installing, and he's going to make his own electricity. And he's happy as a pig, and you know what. He sits in that boxcar every night, and the wind blows through, and I think he thinks he's back on the railroad. Now, Paul went back on the railroad for about 5 or 6 years, and then when Penn Central came along, he took a buyout. He went to the school, I think, of visual arts and became a cinematographer. And he traveled all over the world making motion pictures independently. He then wound up in Penn State, teaching there until his retirement. He was married for about 20 years. He had one daughter and I believe 3 grandchildren. He lives there in Penn State now, and he's happy as hell. He loves his wood carving and his painting and his memories. That is his treasures, and also the young girls at Penn State. I went back on the railroad also and took a job at a marina, managing boats and fixing them up, which I love to do. And Paul and I got together and we decided that we were going to go to motion picture school. Seems like I Search for Adventure said if we could get a few more scenes, they might be interested in it. So we decided to enlist in this school and get educated. But, as it would be, while we were there, Paul met Judy and I met Betty. She was a school teacher, and boy, she knew how to get up and down and find things. Yeah, she found it. Well, in a very short time, things were getting serious with Betty and I. I got more serious with my photography, did experimenting and what have you. And the next thing you know, I was engaged. Engaged to be married. And married I was, July 11th, 1964. Our first apartment was in Old Tappan, the smokehouse converted. Beautiful. All 1 bedroom, 1 room. Then, July 29th, 1966, along came Virginia Ann Mackey. And that was wonderful. On August 9th, 1968, along came Sharon. And now we had 2 beautiful girls, and everything was hunky-dory. After Jimmy was born, we bought a house in Milford, New Jersey, and I built a studio downstairs, and really got serious in photography, making money. Then I bought a studio in Westwood, New Jersey, and we named it Mackey Studio. After a couple years, I renovated it, moved it upstairs, and we had one of the best looking studios in Bergen County. It was beautiful. You went up the stairs and it was like walking into a home, and it created a great environment for people to shop for photography and framing. On October the 6th, 1970, along came Kenny. And then there was 3. On April the 26th, 1974, along came Joe Willie. And then there were 4. In 1976, on my 40th birthday, we decided to sell the studio. We sold it to 2 photographers that worked for us, bought a motorhome, and looked for a new place to live. A vacation home, somewheres in the country. That led us to Sherman, Connecticut, and beautiful Squanch Pond. We found a house up there in the beautiful town of only 2,000 people. 100 yards away was the water for water skiing and ice skating in the winter. It was beautiful. You could even ski down the side, sleigh riding. It was wonderful. We lived there for 20 years and enjoyed every minute of it. We made many trips with that motorhome. In 1979, we made a trip west of 10,000 miles in 6 weeks, taking in all of the state and national parks. It was beautiful. Well, in 1998, it was time to retire. Time to get out of the cold winters of the north and move south to Spring Hill, Florida. Timber Pines, what a wonderful place. All the amenities you ever need. And our children visit us there, and even two of our girls live down here in Florida now. And it's wonderful. Nothing but golfing, bocce, fishing, pool, anything you want to do, it's here. It's just beautiful. Shark got that one. So far, we have two married and one grandchild. Alexandra. She's just about 6 right about now. My greatest treasure was meeting Betty. Betty is the greatest treasure of them all. And with Betty, all this came, and it was wonderful. A lot has happened to Mona in the 40 years since we've been there. I've been able to go on the internet and get some pictures and some information about it. It's definitely a park since 1997. It's protected. They've rebuilt the airstrip completely, and they also have electricity and houses out there. And there's even advertisement in Puerto Rico where you can go out for dives and camping out there. Look at all those boats down there. It looks like a regular parking lot. But the beauty of Mona still exists. They can't change the water. It's still exactly the same. Beautiful. There was a ship that drove over by the wayward side that went on the ground and wound up, I don't know if it's still there or not, but here's another picture of it. It looks like it's still there. And Hurricane George did a number on the island, and I imagine some others did, but they've rebuilt it, and people come from all around and visit it, but a lot of it looks the same. There's the lighthouse way out there. The lighthouse has been abandoned since the 70s, I believe. The animals are still there, still playing. Plenty of iguanas are still there, along with the hermit crabs and all the beautiful seashells that's on the island. People still come to explore the caves of Mona. Thousands of them. Thousands of caves. And the ghosts of Mona's past still live there. Our trip was monumental. It was an experience the three of us will never forget. All of the beautiful sunsets, all the beautiful adventures that we had on Mona is something that we'll carry with us for the rest of our lives. It was a beautiful trip. The three of us, we dreamt the dream, we walked the walk. We did it. And it was wonderful. I believe through life there are many paths to take, many different trails to follow. And each time you follow one of those trails, it changes your life. The treasure hunt of Mona changed our lives. The true treasure of Mona were the new paths that we went down to change our lives forever for the better.